Okay, I can do this. Ciconia When They Cry Phase 1 is the 5th game in the When They Cry series and the 12th game in order of the timeline. It takes place 160 years after When They Cry 2, where you learn about a medical researcher called Mio Takano. Miao Mitake, who is a super soldier, has to infiltrate Giroi Level 4, which is a secret base that was captured by followers of Bern Castel, who are holding the AOU hostage for the remains of the Pandora, who is the same guy as Miao, except with an eye patch. Miao, not Mio, sneaks into the air vent to save Cyril, but then he dies. So you fight a woman called Seshat, but your duel is interrupted by a mysterious ninja called Mr. Grey, who is a man called Willard Wright, who used to work for Bern Castel, but then defected to the Golden Lands because he was in love with a former human called Diana. Because he is a robot, he has to cut off Seshat's gauntlet. Then Miao finds a sweating man called Jaden, who is the son of a famous scientist that killed himself because the sky above his home was vandalized by his own son. You see, Jaden's father Florida Man wrote Higurashi When They Cry for Koshka, then wrote Umineko When They Cry for a woman called Featherine. This is why Jaden writes a secret audio drama called Haworthia for a woman called Meow Like a Cat Sound Mitake, who is a clone of Meow Mitake, created from the DNA of the Pandora, who is also known as Koshka, who is both of their mothers, and she has an eye patch. Meow Mitake is tricked into reading Haworthia because Okanogi thought that Ciconia was not an Evangelion ripoff, but it actually was. But, turns out, Seshat was actually a double agent the entire time, and was secretly working for the third Mitake sibling, called Gestris, who is also the Grand Master of the Order of the Three Kings, and has a gauntlet with a rocket booster on it. And she has an eye patch. Are you following me so far? Next we have Ciconia When They Cry Phase 2. This is where things start to get a little confusing. 2 years after Giroi, Meow Mitake jumps onto a boat where he is confronted by Seshat, and it turns out she is now possessed by the personality of Meow Like a Cat Sound, because she grafted Cat Sound's gauntlet onto her body. So now Seshat's virtual image is Meow Like a Cat Sound's chat room avatar, and she blows up the entire boat and plagiarizes an all-new story called Higurashi Go. Then, 2 years later, the new president is taken hostage by the old president, so Okanogi sends in Meow, who is actually Jaden, who was working for Bern Castel, but not the old Bern Castel, a new version. Turns out, Meow is the leader of the terrorists, but not the real Meow, who is now a murder program. You see, after you rescue the new president, he reveals that the entire democratic process is actually a sham, staged by a secret organization called the Three Kings, who rule the AOU from the shadows. Turns out, the Glass Sea was actually a facade merely created to conceal a super secret virtual chat room hidden beneath it called It's a Rap Public Bath, which houses a powerful AI called Carapoyo, which allows the Three Kings to censor and control the flow of information. To stop Carapoyo, Jaden teams up with the King of Sorrow's granddaughter, who was killed by an incubus. After they upload the virus to It's a Rap Public Bath, Okanogi tells Jaden to turn the game off, because he was actually an AI construct created by Carapoyo the entire time. Jaden then has to watch 25 Higurashi spin-offs in a row. After the battle, Seshat Catsound reveals that she was actually a triple agent working for the Three Kings all along. Turns out the entire video game of Ciconia When They Cry Phase 2 was orchestrated by the Three Kings to simulate the events of real life so that Jaden would catch up on current events. Seshat is once again possessed by Meow Like a Cat Sound, who declares that she is now a reverse quadruple agent who will destroy the Three Kings and jumps off of Super Sokyo Tower. Then, for no reason, the AI Okanogi contacts Jaden and reveals that Carapoyo is only one of many AIs developed by the Three Kings. The true purpose of the simulation was to serve as a microcosm of society entering into the Cellcom age. The Three Kings were concerned that with the arrival of parallel processing, humanity would become too fixated on trivial information like overly complicated visual novel storylines. Then we have Phase 3, which is set 91 years before Phase 1. The Pandora is betrayed by Oyashiro-sama, who is a different person, but she doesn't know that he was only pretending to defect to Japan because the United States told him to do that so he could be a scapegoat for World War III. After being thrown off of a bridge, Koshka is tasked with destroying an early Ciconia prototype called Revelation, and eliminating Comrade Mario, who has earthquake powers, and eliminating Oyashiro-sama, who she is in love with, and she has to steal a secret wisdom that is worth $100 billion. She teams up with a woman called Mio Takano, also known as Lambda Delta, also known as Anomalous Spinal Cord Specimen LD3105, also known as Veer Dreisen, who is Meow Mitake's mother, who in a shocking twist is actually revealed to be a double agent working for China, and she steals the wisdom, but it was a fake. Then, in Phase 5, you play as Eowa. Phase 4. The real Okanogi brings Meow out of retirement for the 4th time, even though he is now 20 years old. His mission is to stop Seshat Catsound once and for all. The only problem is, Ciconia has now merged with the technology of a PlayStation 2. So he has to meet Gunhild, who has 2 little kittens. Gunhild injects Meow with nanomachines so he can control gauntlets, and learns that Catsound's new plan is to use the Pandora's biometric data as a key to take sole command of the Three Kings' weather control system. The incubus working for Cat Sound then throws the Pandora's comatose body into a fire because he forgot what the storyline was. Then everybody goes back to Giroi, where Cat Sound reveals her new virtual chat room called the Golden Land, which is the name of the secret room where Natsuhiro Shiromiya was blown up by the man from 19 years ago. Meow sneaks into the core of the Golden Land, which is actually a modified version of It's a Wrap Public Bath, and installs a secret virus that disables the entire weather control system perpetrated by the Three Kings, thus deactivating all nanomachines in the entire world. But turns out this was actually all a part of Seshat's plan the entire time. You see, she was never actually possessed by Meow like a Cat Sound, she merely used the brain parasite to make herself think that she was. Her true goal all along was to achieve world peace, but also she wants to fight Meow in a brawl to the death in Minecraft. You see, the Pandora was actually Seshat's greatest friend and idol, even though she killed her dad. During their fight, Seshat is exposed to the herbal virus which kills her, because it was injected into Meow by Gunhill, even though she should have been exposed to it earlier in the game and died, but there was a logic error. And that is the entire storyline of Ciconia When They Cry. But then, in a secret data fragment, it is revealed by the Pandora, who is still alive, that every single event in the entire series was faked and staged by the Four Kings. You see, turns out, Beako